So I watched this as they moved in. And I mean, it was scary. I mean, they literally took over. And we had the riots that are worse than what they are now. I wouldn't even call it a riot. It would just be it's just chaos is what happened. Now it really turns loose on February of 2022. That's when it's going to just go haywire. It's going to take them a little over a year to just unwind everything and start letting everything become lax. And China's going to rush right in.
To call it a troublemaking country. Check the United States of America this year. Not once, not twice, but several times. These are countries which President Donald Trump has been able to contain through diplomacy and through the prayers of the intercessors that he had allowed to access him in the White House. But those who will come, they may not have the grace that that was given to this man. They may not have the grace that was given to this man. In troubled times for Christians, I see God visit millions of Christians with revival and renewal. So Christians should not expect things to be calm at an earthly or human level there in the United States of America.
I was watching this exactly how it happened. And here's what happened. When all of a sudden it opened up and I saw the date, February 2022, February 2022, that if they take over, if they were to get into office, what they would do, and it would really be—
That is the Democrats. Go ahead.
The Democrats. It would really be more Kamala Harris than Biden, because he'll be kind of like quieted down. He's like a puppet with them right now, and that's what's going to happen. And so what they're going to do is they're going to allow, and I watched this happen, they allowed Russia, to do some things from the east, and I'll explain that in a second. But the big thing at first was I saw, and I was looking, and I could see on the West Coast how China was coming in. And as China was coming in, they were just buying everything they could. Every business, starting from the West Coast, just going straight through the United States.
They've actually been doing this for some time.
Oh, this will be, they're going to, because Biden and Kamala Harris are going to open up all the borders. They're going to open up all the walls. They're going to overturn everything that Trump has, including our taxes. They're going to overturn everything,
including our tax break.
Yes, our tax break. Yes, and all of the different things that he has set up with other countries. They'll just get rid of all of it. They'll get rid of everything. They'll open the borders. They'll be defund the police is not even what you would call it. It's going to be worse than that. It's going to be worse than defunding them. But what's going to happen is that China is going to start sending people over as well, not just buying the place. But here's what happens is that they are setting up for Biden and Kamala Harris and some other people in that party so that they'll be financially set. And that's what will happen if they move in. Now, that would be illegal normally, but they can make the rules the way they want to make them, so that they can make it so that, oh, well, I'm not in office anymore. I can take this money. So I watched this as they moved in. And I mean, it was scary. I mean, they literally took over. And we had the riots that are worse than what they are now. I wouldn't even call it a riot. It would just be it's just chaos is what happened. Now it really turns loose on February of 2022. That's when it's going to just go haywire. It's going to take them a little over a year to just unwind everything and start letting everything become lax. And China's going to rush right in. They've got to rush in quick. And then Russia, speaking of rushing, Russia is going to go ahead and start supplying natural gas and oil because they're making a pact with Iran. And we're going to make a pact with Russia and Iran as well in order to get that oil at a cheap price to come into the United States. So we're going to be doing this. Well, it's not cheap, trust me. It's going to be up there. But for kind of making deals and making bargains and everything, that's what we're going to do. So what's going to happen is that Russia is going to actually raise the prices. They're going to keep raising the price. So everybody on the East Coast, a lot of people on the East Coast heat with heating oil, like kerosene almost. And those prices are going to go sky high. And the people are not going to be able to afford it because so many businesses are going to be out of business anyways by then. And there's going to be, all they want you to do is depend on the state. And in February of 2022, that's when chaos really enters in. China will be coming from the West Coast. Russia's basically hitting from the East Coast. And they're going to take over the United States. They really are. And we're going to let them. If Biden and Kamala Harris get in, we just open the door and say, please come in. And they will own everything we have, everything. All these big buildings that we have, government buildings, everything. They're going to own. Now, Russia's going to get their fair share too, not as much, but China's really going to own it. And China has been wanting to take over the United States for years, not just our economy. They want the United States. They're going to move over. Now, you know, Sid, I didn't finish explaining this part to you, and I apologize. But one of the things they're going to do too is they're going to create chaos in Asia. I'm talking about South Korea. I'm talking about Japan. You know, those countries are going to be under such heavy persecution in so many ways. And they're going to try to move their people in. And that's what they're going to do. And that's how they're going to do it, starting from the West. For us, it's the West, where China's coming in. And you're going to see it happen because all throughout California, all throughout the state of Washington, Oregon, those main states over there, it's going to be just total chaos. Things are going to happen. It's unreal. But that's not, we can't allow that to happen. So
I saw a certain superpower in another country in Asia, which is not a superpower, but which is a troublemaking country. I can just call it a troublemaking country. Check the United States of America this year. Not once, not twice, but several times. These are countries which President Donald Trump has been able to contain through diplomacy and through the prayers of the intercessors that he had allowed to access him in the White House. But I saw that the peace that President Donald Trump, for all his faults, was able to foster, it may be seriously undermined. So we're not only talking of consequences of internal divisions, but we're also talking of consequences of destabilization of peace from outside. The activities of this country in Asia, I don't know whether it's a European country or it's an Asian country. It's both. It is going to shake the United States of America. It will shake the new rulers. They'll be shaken. And also this North Korea. This North Korea will do a lot of provocations unless intercessors pray. President Donald Trump had tried to limit the kind of provocations that North Korea can do in Southeast Asia, which may destabilize world peace. But those who will come, they may not have the grace that that was given to this man. They may not have the grace that was given to this man. So Homeland Security will be a very serious issue for the next 3.5 years. Homeland Security. Not problems in other countries, but problems within the United States of America. I see a lot of things in the vision exploding. A lot of things, what? Exploding. These are problems. These are things which will cause them to be what? To be fearful. These are things which will cause even those leaders, those among the leaders who are godless, to say, guys, to say, people, let us pray. Men and women, let us what? Pray and seek God. The Spirit of God says for 3.5 years, Homeland Security will be a very serious issue in the United States of America. God will shake Washington, D.C., the seat of power in the United States of America. He will do it for his own glory, in his own way, and at his own time. About the spirit of disunity. And then I was given Romans chapter 8, verse 28. I know many Christians, because of what took place in November, they are very despondent and confused. But God said, I must give you Romans chapter 8, verse 28. I don't know how God will communicate with you through Romans 8, verse 28. It says, and we know that all things work together for good, to those who love God, to those who are the called according to his purpose. So, trust God for the way forward. This unit may favor terrorist activities in different parts of the United States of America. I saw the sketch of homegrown terrorism begin to increase because of this situation of disunity. So God wants Americans to be united. In troubled times for Christians, I see God visit millions of Christians with revival and renewal. So Christians should not expect things to be calm at an earthly or human level there in the United States of America, because God is busy shaking that country. The confusion may actually intensify. They must expect a spiritual awakening in the middle of the confusion. There are people who are planning assassination from this year onwards in the United States of America. They are serious about planning assassination. The Spirit of God is saying for the United States of America not to be plunged into crisis. Intercessors should not trivialize the message that I'm speaking. If they ignore or trivialize the message that I'm speaking, this year, I want us to say this year, or the years following it. I want us to say, or the years following it. I'm actually referring to 2 years following it. Following 2021. They might become like 1963. So we must.
It would really be more Kamala Harris than Biden, because he'll be kind of like quieted down. He's like a puppet with them right now, and that's what's going to happen.
There will be very stiff opposition against a certain woman ascending to the highest point in the seat of power in the United States of America. There are forces that are positioning a certain woman to be elevated to the highest point in the United States of America. But there will be very, very serious opposition. No, opposition which is not a joke. I want you to say opposition which is not a joke. As I'm talking, the Spirit of God was telling me when I was writing this point that there are pastors and prophets in the United States of America who have seen this thing in a vision, who are praying against this. Not because they hate a woman, but because of the character of the woman and what the woman stands for. The reason why God will permit very stiff opposition to rise against this woman, it is because of what she stands for. There are people who will say, would rather fast to the point of almost dying for this woman not to ascend the throne. But there are forces of darkness and forces of light which are fighting in the United States of America.